This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we are talking with Justin Clement. Good afternoon, Justin.
Good afternoon, Queen Lizzie.
I am honored to have you as my guest today.
Thank you for having me. This is an absolute pleasure.
Okay. And we met a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been friends ever since.
Yes, we have.
We talk the same language.
Yes, we do.
Okay,
we hit it right off.
We did. And now you have my permission to tell us about yourself, about Justin.
About me. My goodness. You're going to need more than a half an hour podcast.
Okay, go.
So right now, my name is Justin Clement, as we have already established. I work for the Greater Gainesville Chamber of Commerce. I'm the member engagement manager. So basically my job at the chamber is to keep our members happy and keep the community engagement rolling. I mean, Gainesville is such a small but big town.
It is.
So it's nice to kind of have my voice heard with other people in the town, other businesses and community leaders and things like that.
And that's how we met. Mm-hmm. And I'm a member of the chamber, and we were talking. I don't remember about
I remember what the event was. I think it was our business awards.
Freddie.
Oh, the CEO Insights with Freddie Weeby.
Yes, down at the Hippodrome.
At the Hippodrome,
Yes, that's where we met, and we started talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you told me that you are into production, or you were the engagement manager.
The engagement manager.
And we talked about a movie.
We talked about a movie. So I have a big theatrical background. I mean, my parents raised me. They were doing community theater when I was a little kid. They owned a dance studio. So I've always been around theatrical things.
Okay.
And we got to talking.
Yes.
And I said, I want to help you with something. So.
Okay. And believe it or not, I have been talking to other people also over the years, because I want to do a Rosewood movie.
Yeah.
And not Hollywood, but Rosewood.
Right.
And I want it to happen here, local, with the local people, local platform. And we don't want to bring in professional actors and actresses.
Right.
We want to use our own.
You want real people.
Real
stories.
Real story,
Yeah.
Real Rosewood.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
and tell our own story.
Right.
And I'm working with TV20. In fact, I talked with Alexis Goings and Kristen Chase over the weekend. We're out together over the weekend, and we have been talking, and I believe that we put all of our heads, minds, souls together. What do you think?
I love it. Okay. There's so much talent and diversity in this town and in this general area that if we can't do it, nobody can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Eileen Silverman is going to be a part of the production.
Wonderful.
Yes, and we have a lot of people, because Rosewood is important. And absolutely. I remember in 1997, my mother was still living. My mom is my historian and my source of information about Rosewood, because her sister was the teacher.
Right.
From 1917 to 1923. And when they were getting ready or getting their scripts together to produce Rosewood, the 1997 movie, got our information because my mom said, oh, sure, share the information, because they said, oh, well, you can play the part of your aunt, the school teacher.
Right.
They got our information. No, here. I was very upset because they excluded me. And my mom looked at me and said, baby, mama didn't raise no fools. With my research and my oral information I have given you, she said, do your own movie.
Yeah.
And it has been 27 years. And right now, we're doing our own movie with help from people like you and the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the way to do it, too. I mean, with the legacy of Rosewood and everything like that, really getting that community involvement when the history of Rosewood is so tumultuous, having the community come together to tell that story, I think that's part of the healing process as well.
Yes, and that's what I need. If no one else needs it, I need healing. I really do. And when I do these shows and speak on Rosewood, it is a healing. It really is a healing. And I need that, and I appreciate what the community is doing for me. Because of people like Freddie Weeby, Steve Spurrier, that's why I'm here in this office. And it means a lot. It's healing because they believe in telling the truth and history.
Absolutely. It's so important to talk about the history because as soon as we stop talking about it, we're going to forget all about it and repeat the same things.
Exactly.
And we can't have that.
We can't have that. No, our generation is expecting us, to do more, because when we are silent, we all lose.
Right.
So we have to talk about it. We have to be the voice for history, American history. Whether it is ugly, difficult, we still need to talk about it.
We need to talk about it. I mean, a lot of times history is so uncomfortable and tragic, and there's all these bad things and whatnot, but there's so much that you can learn from that.
Exactly.
So much you can learn, and sometimes you have to wade through that muck and that uncomfortability to come out with a positive, unifying result.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. It keeps me awake at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are times, especially when I speak, there are times I cannot get to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I always up early in the morning, texting people about Rosewood or something. But I'm learning. I guess I'm learning. I am learning. I'm digesting. But like I said, it is so difficult. It is so painful. I remember when my mom she didn't ask, she assigned the job to me, and I said to her, no, Mom, I can't do it, it's too painful, it's going to take up all of my time, I don't have time for it, I do not want to do it. And she said to me, if Mom was younger, Mom would do it. So I ended up doing it for 30 years.
Yeah. What did you do before you took over that role?
I was a teacher.
Okay.
I was a teacher. I didn't start on the Rosewood research until I retired from work.
Okay.
And I retired because she was ill, so we spent time together. And talking about Rosewood and traveling. And here I am today talking about her. Still talking about Rosewood, but when I talk about Rosewood, it's about her.
Right.
And the reason she wanted me to keep this history alive because her sister was this teacher there and married a Rosewood citizen. However, we are from Archer. Archer is our home, and I still live on the property today that my great-grandfather purchased in 1897.
Wow. Okay.
And I'd like to invite you to come out Friday morning if you're not busy. At 11:30, if you're not busy, you are Joe. I'm going to invite him too. Because we are going to start our movie segment.
Okay.
The first segment right there on that property. And the reason we are going to record what we are going to do, what we will be doing on the 23rd of February this month, we are opening an elegy to Rosewood at the Gainesville Fine
Arts
Yeah.
Association. I was ready to help.
Thank you. I sure needed that help. Yes. So you are aware of it.
I will be there for that. Absolutely.
Okay. So we are going to need someone there at that time to do some videoing for us.
Sure.
Would love to have you. But to start, that information, the exhibit that I'm bringing in, is in Archer now.
Okay.
So the professional movers, and when I tell you professional, they are professional movers out of Miami. They come up, they rap, and when I tell you rap,
they rap.
Yes, they do not want to damage anything, and they do not damage, and they are going to rap it, and we're going to bring it to the Gainesville Fine Arts Association.
Yeah. What can you tell me, like, what some of the exhibits are? What sort of things?
I have the Bible. Now the Bible, and the reason I said that it's my favorite piece. It's my papa's Bible.
Okay. So
the school teacher's father, but it is special because it has some passages in there that he highlighted. That fits right into the subject of Rosewood.
Wow.
So that Bible is very important. We're bringing that. And my grandfather worked on the railroad as a box carman, and that's not the right word. And he was also the clergy. And also he passed for white. That's why back in 1888 he was able to get a job, because they thought he was white. And today I still have his clergy paper and his receipts.
Okay.
And I don't know how I got on that conversation. What was your question?
We were just talking about what exhibits are going to be in.
Yes. Oh, and he has 6 watches. I was saying about he worked on the train. And he has, I guess they're called, pocket watches. He has 6 of those. He has a walking cane that he carved when he was, don't know how old, but it was in 1921.
Okay.
And that walking cane has all of his Masonic degrees on it. And it has a sword in it. And no one knows until I was able to ask my mom, what? I can't open this. What is it? She said, that's a sword, babe. I said, I can't open it. She said, probably dried blood. I said, dried blood? Papa ever killed anyone?
Yeah.
I was a young girl.
Right.
Without hesitation, she said, heroes do what they have to do when they have to do it. And I didn't know what she meant. Until I got older, I was able to figure it out. So we have that. Wow. What else do we have? We have handkerchiefs. My aunt collected handkerchiefs.
Okay.
And when and before they burned down the town, the sheriff rescued much of her personal items. And I have those that we're going to put on display. What else is going to go on display? What else? Other stuff that I can't remember.
Other stuff.
No,
that's incredible.
Yes, it's going to be enough to hold the audience attention.
Absolutely. Yeah. Having tangible pieces of history there is more than just. Will there be artwork as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the portrait, which is called Hope Prevails, it was painted by the VP, my vice president. It will be on display.
Excellent.
And that is the only photo that will be on display. But no, there are some other photos, because the elegy also include my mom, pictures of my mom, my great-grandmother, me, and other items. They will be on display. And when I said about the sheriff saved and rescued the people of Levy County and of Rosewood especially, I'm in touch with his granddaughter who lives in Denton, Texas. She is coming for our March 9th event.
Fantastic.
She wants to see me again.
Hey, who doesn't want to see you, Miss Lizzie?
Well, I reached out to these people because I know, and when I say these people, I mean people, because I know they had nothing to do with Rosewood. So I wanted to know about them, and they wanted to know about me, and we remained friends over the years.
Well, that's part of the healing process, too.
Exactly. And I'm excited to welcome her and others that will be coming. The store merchant's wife great, I'm thinking it's 2, it may be 3 greats. Niece is coming out of New York.
Very cool.
I haven't met her. However, she got in touch with me a couple of 3 years ago and told me who she was.
Wow.
And I welcome her. So I like reaching out to people because if they are interested in knowing about Rosewood and want to be involved, of course, we want them involved. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. That's about time for our first half. We are going to head for a quick break and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't. Our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured.
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
And our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History.
I am Florida and America's Black History.
And you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Justin Clement. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Special thanks to Greg Bradley, Allstate Insurance. Okay, we are back, and before the break, we were about to talk about your job. You have already talked about what you do. I want you to tell people, tell my audience about the posting, how you post for each member
of
the calendar.
Yeah. So as the member engagement manager of the Chamber of Commerce, one of my roles is to help members of the Chamber get out word of future events that they may be having, that the community is involved in or invited to. So such as the event at the Gainesville Fine Arts Association, the Elegy to Rosewood. We're able to put that on our community calendar, and then and that's seen by not just members, but also just the wider greater Gainesville area community. So that's a good way to get word out about things where sometimes a lot of smaller businesses especially just don't have the reach to get out to the community. So that's a really great benefit for them, is to have that calendar there to get the word out, really.
Appreciate it. Very appreciative. And I have another event coming up in March.
Okay.
But we are going to wait until this, the Elegies Rosewood is over.
Okay.
Okay. And
well, you know my number, so.
I know your number and your name.
Oh, I hope so.
And I will get in touch with you, and we'll go from there. You can post that for me, too, because this...
Anything for you.
Okay. Okay. All right. This is very important, because what is so important about this March event, it's called the Mahalda Gusty Brown Carrier. What kind of women are they? Influential Women Award. It's going to be an award giveaway. However, I have invited some of the white Rosewood descendants, and people don't know that there are white Rosewood descendants out there,
right,
who approached me years ago and let me know, hey, this is my history too, Mrs. Jenkins. So they were not embarrassed. They wanted me to know, and we have stayed in touch over the years, and a couple of 3 will be attending our March 9th event. And they want to meet you all, my audience. Do you hear? They would love to meet you all. Okay? And also, one special lady who is not a Rosewood descendant, but you know, I'm a speaker. I spoke at Central Florida College in Ocala last year, maybe June-ish. And during the reception, a little lady walked up, and when I say little, she's shorter than I am, walked up to me and said, Mrs. Jenkins, and my name is Mosley, and my great-grandfather was Florida governor in 1922-26. I said, really? And I wanted to know who, of course. She said, Carey Hardy. I remember him, you know, by reading the history of Rosewood.
Right.
And I said, wonderful, it's so nice to meet you. I said, when I speak, would you like for me to introduce you and tell people you are here? Oh, no. Because she was afraid people would judge her. Okay, really broke my heart. However, history repeats itself. I was back in Ocala this year, and I met her. And I was telling her about my event, and I invited her to the March 9th event. She said, oh, I would love to come. I said, okay. I said, would you like to speak and talk on my... Oh, yes.
Good.
She is so excited.
That's fantastic.
I know. Yeah. After she heard my speech, I didn't attack her great-grandfather. Okay? I made everybody feel comfortable. Right. And that's what she said. So she wants to be a part of it. So she will be here also.
That's fantastic.
It is.
It's so interesting that... I mean, with the history aspect of it being, you know, Rosewood, the massacre happened in 1923, correct?
Yes.
So this is year 101.
Yes.
And the Chamber is just celebrating its centennial, its 100 years. It's so interesting to see just the echoes. What am I trying to say here? Just that something that can happen 100 years ago still reverberates today.
Yes.
And that's kind of... ties in with the Chamber, is that we've learned so many lessons over the last 100 years.
That's exactly.
What do we learn from those? What can we duplicate, and what can we say, okay, well, that was last century. We're not doing that anymore. What can we do to unify? What can we do to make our community stronger? And I think that's one of the most important things we can do. And I think that's one of the most important things that you're doing, is to keep that history alive so we can learn and grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it without your help.
Right.
So I need everybody.
Well, I heard you say before, it's not about me, it's about us.
It is.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yes,
So
it's
much.
not. And sometimes if I catch myself saying me, no, it's us.
Us.
I can't do this. It's our history.
Right.
It's not my history, okay? And history, I tell people, history is who we are. Without history, we're nothing. So we together can make it what we want it to be. And right now, we want it to be very positive, and we want to get along. We want to just close the racial divide, which really is not, I'm not a fan of, because I grew up in segregation during those times. People talk about Martin Luther King. I'm before Martin Luther King. I went to school in St. Augustine, Florida Memorial College, 1960. I sat at the lunch counter. We didn't see Martin Luther King until 1964. Wow. We had already paved the street. So he came there, however, to help, but we had already done the damage, and we were damaged too. My worst experience was sitting at that lunch counter. I'm not going to talk about it today, but I learned from it. Somebody had to pave the way. Somebody had to, and I was just caught up in that. But my only big regret, they did not jail me. Had I been jailed, I would have had a record. And I could have said to you, this is my police record. See, I don't have to prove anything to you. I was not jailed, but they did jail some of the girls the night before I went down to participate. And I didn't want to participate. My mother didn't want me to, but my peers, Robinson, you are going tomorrow. And they made sure I went the next day. Yes, and it was tough, but it made me, I guess, a better person. I don't know. I don't know. I know I was afraid. So I said that to say I appreciate Martin Luther King, but I was before him. I appreciate more my ancestors.
Absolutely.
Okay? Because they are who I am. Because my great-grandmother walked from Jackson, Mississippi, age 13, stolen from her parents that lived on the Parchman farm, and walked to Archer. 678
It's a
miles.
bit of a walk.
Was a hell of a walk.
Yeah. Wow.
6 months.
Okay.
Whipped, not fed, all the way.
Unreal.
Okay, and abused. But because of her, I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Because of her.
That
I am.
explains your resiliency and strength.
Oh, it
My
does.
goodness.
Yeah, well, she was strong and powerful. And when Rosewood happened in 1923, she was 97 because she lived to be 100.
God bless
She
her.
was 97. My mom said she walked the floor all night long praying for the school teacher, which was her granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she was something else too. And Mom would tell me about people, and everybody she told me about in her family who was strong, she would end up saying, well, Papa was something else. That's how she always defined him. My mother was something else. My mom carried a pistol in her bra and a switchblade in her pocket to protect us,
Wow.
her little children. My dad, afraid to death. My dad was afraid because Dad owned a lot of property. He didn't want to be lynched. I would even hear him praying, I don't want to be lynched. When I was a little kid, didn't know what the word lynching meant. But he prayed that prayer. I learned later because he had property, people would kill and take your property.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be around for us, so my mom was the boss.
She was the boss.
She was something else, and that's what my husband tells me. You talk about your mom. You can't talk about your mom. You are something else. Yeah, he knows it. I have to prove it sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I got a big mouth. He tells me that too. But I apologize.
Well, I'd say it's good that you got a big mouth because that helps communicate the story better. And I think that's what it all ties down to is just that communication. I mean, that's part of what I do with my job and my role. And I sometimes will do little projects of acting in local theaters and everything. And that's telling a story. That's communicating to an audience.
Okay.
And I think that it's very powerful that you have this podcast where you are able to communicate these stories. And I think that's how we keep that story going, through that spoken tradition, through experiences and words and just being able to sit and talk. And I think that'll help unify not just our area, but in the country with all the division.
I know.
Everyone's so afraid to talk to each other.
Exactly. Basically, that's what it is.
We have so much more in common
When we
than
talk.
we do,
Uh-huh.
than we think we do. And just being able to just breathe in, breathe out, have a conversation. That's just the most important thing for all of us, really.
It is, and I assume Freddie saw that in me
Mhm.
because I have been talking ever since. Okay, I don't know if I stick to the platform or I just talk. I talk about things that need to be talked about,
Right.
and I love my my website. And by the way, my website is rosewoodflorida.com. If you want to make a donation or purchase a book, I have a couple of books online. And I have a calendar if you want to keep up with what is going on. My event about coming up, my 2 events coming up soon, are posted on my website.
Yeah, the website is fantastic. I was looking through it
Okay.
over the weekend. So many excellent pictures and the story of Rosewood, like it's educational. And then, links to your podcast. It's fantastic. Anybody who's interested in learning more about Rosewood, I mean, I have to admit, I knew the basics of the story, the basics of everything, but even just reading your website gave me so much more insight as to what happened, what we're doing to move forward. It's really fantastic. So I highly encourage everyone to go on that website. It's rosewoodflorida.com, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Rosewoodflorida.com. And I have lots of pictures on there. I have pictures of friends.
Uh-huh.
They don't know it, but they know these are going to be my workaholics. They are going to help us get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
They have all promised. However, I have not made assignments, but we're getting there. They're all good friends. We have a curriculum that one of the ladies on there wrote the curriculum for Rosewood.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know that exists, but we're going to get that out. Another young lady,
Get the word out.
yes, is working on the Alachua County Black Heritage Trail, and we are a part of that. And there is so much more. And one last thing I'm going to say, coming soon will be the museum out in Archer on my family's property.
Right.
And we are working on the plans as we speak.
Fantastic.
So we'll
I look forward to that, too.
Okay.
Actually, on the property.
Yes, and I'm going to send you a copy later so that you can
Okay.
post it. Okay?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Okay. I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, this is my Rosewood story, and I'm sticking to it. Goodbye.